All right, Craidana, this is your bee house nesting block. Sat out all summer. It's got some cracking in here, which is some, you know, that's the wood. On the back here, everything is really blocked up nicely. It actually looks like there might be a little mama sitting right there. That's where she expired. These are blocked up with the mud. They're all blocked up. That's the only one that's not blocked up. So it looks really good to start with. So it means that they really got going well. It was a really bad spring and they really got going with a kick, and then they it was just too cold. So we turn it around and you look inside. Like there is some mud here and there's a little bit of mud here. The rest of them, oh, that one is almost completely full there. Yeah, I doubt you can see inside it. So we're going to take it apart and see what we come up with. Oh, that's not usually the end that comes apart. It's usually the long end that comes out. That's okay. Let's push that out there. The other end is usually tight inside the wood, and so it doesn't turn. Okay, here is our first. They are cemented together really well. So I'm just going to pry that out a little bit. Okay. That actually looks really good. Now, we've got some interesting things going on here. So, as you can see, that little guy there, those two little guys, and we've got some over here as well. Those are probably a parasitic wasp. That there as well, and there as well. So something has gotten in there. All of these are like that. Probably a parasitic wasp, and they're little teeny things, and they will they'll get in during nesting. They'll lay some eggs, and those eggs, what they've done is they've pulverized this thing, and they may have started with that one. So they parasitized this this little baby. Yeah, nothing left of that. That may be a pollen ball, but I think it's just what's left of the... So we got a whole bunch of them here. And this is why we clean these out. This here, that little puff stuff, that's the pollen mites. And so this might be a good cocoon here. So, but if this was in the back, this is the front of the tunnels. If this little guy was in the back, then she would have to get all the way to the front and go through all these. So what we have here is we've got a male. That would be a male too. Maybe a male there and two females. So these females have expired because of the pollen mites. And we've got one male here, a male here. Looks like these guys are good. Now there's a bit of mildew and dust in there, so we'll have to check with that. And we got two here. So overall, from what I've seen from other nests, not good at all. They really had a hard time. This is done pretty well. So we'll make our way through here, and I think we'll probably see a fairly good number that we'll get back to you for this coming spring. These guys are going to get destroyed because we don't want those guys growing and hatching and increasing their population, because they are a predator. And they can do fine on their own. These little guys, That's why we do this. We clean them out so that they have a better chance. You know, they'll be fine without us, but this gives them a better chance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just get a container. So I'm just going to pause you for a sec here. How do I pause? I don't know. I guess I have to stop. Okay, so this one here is mostly pollen mites. So I'm going to get rid of those. And I've got one cocoon here. Yeah. And what we have is another cocoon and some gunk that we don't want. And then 3 more cocoons. Now I'm not able to tell, I'm not dividing them right now as far as male and female. If I was concerned I would do that, but I'm going to bring these all back to you. They're all going to hatch when they need to hatch, so they're just going to go in the release box all together. If I was marketing these out, I would want to have them separated in that, but that one, I'm just going to scoop that whole thing out of there. And, oops, I'll keep you, I'm going to get rid of these guys and scoop that out of there. Okay, number 1 done. Now, there's a large Phillips gets in there quite nicely. Just try to get them as clean as I can. I will hide these with a heat gun later, and that'll just cook anybody that's left. So, kind of nasty, I guess. All right, now let's pop this one apart. I've got one cocoon here, and you got some, ouch, there's some more. So another one where we've got quite a few of the parasitic wasps here. But some other, there's a really good row there. Yeah, good mama there. Interesting how she didn't go to the back with this one. Oh, yes she did. I've got some on here. Got some on here where it locks in. They're stuck to the other side, which is fine. Looks like a good, geez, looks like a good nest, you guys. Get rid of those beggars. We don't want those. And this one's full of pollen mites. What the pollen mites do is they get in and they just eat the pollen store that's for the egg, and there's nothing for the egg to eat when it hatches. So that's a nice run there. I've got one little guy. That'll be that's probably a girl. And then we've got one there with some hanger-oners of parasites. So I'm just going to work my way through here, and I'll stop if there's anything interesting, and I'll just pause the recording for now, and I'll come back. Here is the little one in the back. This is the only tunnel that wasn't sealed. That one's sealed, but there's nothing in it. That one didn't get finished. This one here. This is the mother, one of the female mason bees, and she would have come in here to stay warm and died. And then a spider came in and helped himself to a food source. So nature in action. That's the way it goes. There's a lot of these little guys in here. These are their parasites. And that's, you know, just that area. I haven't seen that many before, but just that area there's a lot of them in there. So we are helping them out by getting rid of them here tonight. Okay, well there's the beginning of what we have. Fairly good little colony there. All of them had a bad time this past year. It should be better than that, but had a real problem with the parasitic wasps that probably took out 15 cocoons. So that's unfortunate. Just the way nature is. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cleaning these out a bit with a wire brush, just kind of giving them a bit of a brush and a scrape with a scraper, just to get some of the junk out. And that way the mason bee in the spring doesn't have to do it. Gives her more time to collect food and things, so she can be more successful and not have to, you know, not have to spend as much time doing house cleaning. So we're just being a molly maid for the mason bee. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to blast these off. And what that does, if there's any pollen mites left, that'll cook them, so that it'll kill anything that's left behind. You know, it's okay to burn it a bit. It's going to make sure that it's nice and clean for the next mama that comes into the nesting block. So I'm just going to go ahead and build this back up again, and just put it back together. Oh, yeah, it didn't work. Right. And we have it is a very close fit to get everything in. There it goes. These only go in one end. It's bigger because the barrel nut. Oh, sorry, the barrel nut is bigger. So only goes in one end. Let's get this started. Just a couple threads in. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and square. I hold the barrel nut with my other finger as I put this together. Sometimes they spin, you have to use another screwdriver. So that's now together and ready to go for next year. Not terribly square. I'm going to try that again. Back it up just a little, give it a bit of a whack. That's better. Things tend to warp a little bit, of course, being outside. Normally the nesting block is taken out and put into a shed or something and not left out in the elements like we've done with this one. But it's actually, I'm happy. It's done pretty well. There's some fissures in here which would be a problem from the outside in, because the little parasitic wasp, man, they're small. They're, you know, they're smaller than that. They're really tiny, but their ovipositor, the little thing they use for depositing the egg, the ovipositor, is 1/8 of an inch long. So we want to make sure that there is nothing 1/8 of an inch long short where they can get in. So these cracks aren't a problem because she can't get in that far. This, when it's secured to the back, she can't get in there. If it was loose, yeah, she could get in, and then she could drill through the clay wall and deposit into that. But she can't get in there. So nothing is small enough for her to get into if it's put together right. We're on this little screen. I'm just going to roll them around a bit. These guys are tough. It's pretty amazing how tough they are. Just going to roll it around a bit and get rid of some of the small stuff. There'll be some pollen mites come off of here. And so what I want to do is just lay out my cocoons on this. So I'm just going to, break off some of the clay. Get some of the big gunk out. I'm not too concerned about the little stuff. We're going to give them a bath later anyway. So this is probably the most tedious part, is just getting them clean. Get a bit of an inspection as well. This is a girl, obviously. See how big that is compared to that? There we go. Little boy, little girl. They're meant to be doing some work. These guys, they only do one thing. You can probably guess. So they are not terribly substantial. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these up, and we'll get ready for the bath. So here are the cocoons that have been cleaned, stage 1, and they are, you can see some of them have pollen mites on them. They got lots of poop over them, the brown. That's when they were spitting their cocoon. There's some nice, really nice sized females here. They look pretty healthy to me. So we've got those. This is what we cleaned out. So we've got pieces of the mud. And it's hard too. Like, it's not just, it's packed in there. I don't know how they do it, but it's really well built. They're good masons. And there's some more crud there. So there's a couple little maggots in there, the larva. So that's all going to just go in the dumpster. And we'll wash that off with a bit of bleach later on, what we have left. And so what we have here, I've got just water. That's bath number 1. We've got 5% bleach solution here. So it's a liter of water and 50 ml of bleach. It's a little bit less than 5 ml, but that's okay. Household bleach. What that will do is kill off any pollen mites that are left, and if we have any fungus starting on anything, there's a fungus that can bother these guys. So we're going to do 5% solution of bleach for 5 minutes, and then we're going to rinse them in clean water for 5 minutes. And so this is just to get the gunk off. More gunk will come off, and then by the time they get to here, they're nice and clean. This silk that they sew is waterproof, so they can soak in the water for a while, and it doesn't bother them. And then what we have here is another stage to the dryer, and this has the screen on it. And so we'll lay them on that, and that will get them nice and dry. Probably blot them with a bit of a towel or whatnot, just to get them dry quick. You don't want them to stay wet. And it's cold in my shed, my garage right now, so this is cold water. You don't want to do this in the house because they'll start, well, you probably could. It doesn't take very long to do it. Okay. Probably know what one of these are. Works great. So let's just pull it up and you can see it better. We're just going to get them in there. And what we're going to do, you can wear gloves when you do this if you like. Nothing's going to hurt you. Just kind of roll them. So we're going to roll the cocoons in our hand in the water in order to get the gunk off. I don't know if I can zoom in here so you can see better. Yeah, let's go like that. And bring them into here so you can see. Oh, figures. The battery's going to die. You just kind of roll them around, and they're tough, but you don't want to squeeze them. But you can roll them around and let them get them cleaned off. So then I'm going to put them in the bleach for 5 minutes, the other water for 5 minutes, and bring them to dry. The battery's going to die on the phone, on the camera, so I'll bring you back once the battery has charged up again, and we've probably got them dried and ready to come back to you guys. So, talk to you in a bit.